Hello and welcome to another episode of Double J's List. If you can get a chance, please hit the like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate that. Today I'm going to talk about what I think has been the best modification that I've made to my 2023 Jeep Wrangler 4xe Willys trim level that I have made to it so far for me. Now, for 2023, and I believe the years previous to this, all of the Willys trim level Jeeps received these Firestone Destination MT tires. MT is for mud terrain, and as you can see, they have a very, very blocky tread pattern. So while this performs very well in mud, they're not very good on dry pavement, even some wet pavement, and in icy, snowy conditions. So I waited until a tire the same size became on sale on Tire Rack. So I found a set of these Bridgestone Dueler A. AT is for all-terrain, and this is a very road-oriented all-terrain tire. And as you can see, one of the big differences is the tread is not as deep, and it has a lot more of this. This is called siping, these little horizontal lines in the tread blocks. And what that does, see, the mud tires only have a little bit. When the tire folds over, and it doesn't do too much here, but it does a lot more here, it actually creates kind of a pointed surface, and it helps a lot on icy, snowy roads. Now, the MTs will be better in really deep snow. However, in really packed down icy conditions, which are like on most roadways in snowy areas. So, because most of the time people have driven it on before you have, it packs down and then it becomes kind of slippery and ice-like. These tires will be much better. The other thing that drove me absolutely crazy about the MTs is the fact that they were extremely loud. They roll on the ground and make a ton of noise at highway speeds. They're just absolutely, totally unpleasant. Where when I put these Bridgestones on, they roll much more quietly, and another interesting thing is there's a lot less rolling resistance. So I found myself having to hit the brakes harder to make the Jeep slow down with the new all-terrain tires on, because there's so much less rolling resistance. Another thing that is interesting about this is that according to Tire Rack's website, you can compare tire to tire, and the Bridgestones weigh a full 10 pounds less per tire than the Firestones. So that's going to be, I think that has contributed to some better economy, and I actually have some evidence of that. The other day I drove to work. Normally I would get to work and I have about 3% battery left if I left the house on a full charge in the winter running the heat, and I was running the heat and I got to work, I had 13% battery left. So a 10% increase on my drive to work for battery usage. That was really, really a good thing. Along with the quieter ride, and also they ride a lot better. When you hit bumps, a lot less of that impact is transmitted into the cabin. So I know that they don't look nearly as cool. I lost my white letters on the tires. They don't have aggressive sidewalls like the Destinations do. But in every other aspect, I really, really, really prefer the Bridgestone Duelers. Another reason I did this is that this is a lease. I think I've said that in my other videos. So when it comes time to turn in the lease, they always want you to have a lot of tire tread left. It's specified at a certain level in your contract. So when it comes time to turn in this lease, I just throw these Destination MTs back on. As you can see, they still have a ton of tread. I've driven on them for less than a year. And it's the proper type of tire that the Jeep came with. And they really shouldn't be able to say anything about that. So for the next 2 years, I'll be using those Duelers, and I'll get the life out of them. I'll have better winter traction, more pleasant driving experience, and it'll be a much better situation when I go to turn it in. One other thing to consider, the Bridgestones aren't as aggressive of an off-road pattern, so if you off-road a lot, they won't be as good. They're still an all-terrain tire, so they are a little bit off-road oriented. Obviously, the Destinations are going to be a heck of a lot better, but I don't do a whole heck of a lot of off-roading. It really doesn't make sense to me that the Willys trim level came with such an aggressive off-road tire when there are other trim levels that are more off-road oriented than the Willys. So but it's what Jeep did for 2024. I noticed all the Willys 4xEs that are on the lot are now running BF Goodrich all-terrain KO2s in the larger size that comes standard on the Rubicon. So that'll be a little bit quieter tire than the Destination MTs, but I think it's a little more off-road oriented than the Dueler. So it might be a good compromise, but again, I did this for cost. I was able to get these tires on closeout for like $100 less per tire, and I could not be happier with the results. So if you have anything that you want to say, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it, and thank you for watching.